Hey, what's going on, guys? We are live and we are talking about deals, specifically Black Friday special deals for the end of 2022. And the information that we're going to talk about today is not only useful during this Black Friday season or towards the end of the year, but also there's some lessons that you can learn that can be used even in the future, how you can save money if you're wanting to fill up your game room with these Arcade1UP cabinets. Speaking of game rooms, I want to talk about this. Every Wednesday, for the last 4 Wednesdays, I've been putting together a show called Community Cades, or basically what we're doing is showing off people's game rooms so other people can get some really cool ideas. Now, I've got a ton of inspiration for that, and if you've really enjoyed that series, definitely hit a like on this video or tell everyone about it, how it's a fun series. I'm really enjoying it, and so if you want to partake in that, is what I'm trying to say, just email consulkits@gmail.com. You can upload your pictures right into the email or send me a link to a Google Drive. You can upload videos, whatever, and then I just go through everything that everyone's emailed me and show it back to the audience. There's some key things that people love about the game rooms. The lights make a huge difference, and just the decorations. If you're wanting to learn how to put things on the wall that looks really cool, there's a lot of fun things in that series. But today, we're talking about deals. We're talking about the deals that are available right now. I'm going to talk about the deals that I ended up getting recently, why I did it. Now, it's up to you whether you want to get any of these deals. I'm not here to tell you what to do. And please, don't watch this and get some FOMO and then make some decisions that you later regret. You got to live with your decisions. But I want to talk about the decisions that I made. Those that are in the comments, if you want to talk about the deals that you got, that you're proud of, just write right now in the live chat, say, I was able to get this deal, my deal of the year, whatever it is. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the deals that are available right now. So, there's a couple things that I'm going to talk about. My website, consulkits.com, is a way that you can learn about these deals. There's many different ways that are very good. Wario64 on Twitter is a very good person to follow. Twitter's still a thing. I'm on there, ConsulKits on Twitter. You can follow me there as well. And anyway, so part of this deal, this website, every single day I scrape for prices. So there's a back end to this that's scraping for prices, and I list all the retailers. So what about the deals that are right now that are really interesting? So let's take a look at this. It's kind of cool. So we got The Simpsons for $2.99. We're going to come back to that. I'm going to tell you why that's an interesting deal. And it's definitely something to consider. If you don't like Simpsons, or you already own Simpsons, or you don't want it, then don't get it. But there is some interesting things about it that makes it worth at least thinking about. Okay, so then you got Terminator 2, you got Ridge Racer, Dragon's Lair. That's about it. These 3 deals right now, there's a lesson to be learned from it. So one thing I noticed, if you click on this video that I put together, this is the actual video. I put it on my website. You can click here if you want to learn more about the T2. I kind of do that. Like, there's videos underneath each item that I've had a topic about. This one was a year ago. So this video was talking about Terminator 2 being available for pre-order 1 year ago from shooting this video that we're talking about right now. So a year later, this product is now heavily discounted, right? That's interesting. So we got $2.99 available at Amazon.com. Now, Terminator 2 is something that I did not get, and I still didn't get it, not even at that $2.99. Now, if you love Terminator 2, you know, I'm happy for you. I'm not trying to discourage you in any way. It's just not a game for me. I thought about getting it at the $2.99 price. I would mod it and try to turn it into a duck hunt. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and then it's still going to be shaped like a T2. No, I'm just not going to do it. It's just not for me. But let's go to another one that's interesting. So we got Ridge Racer. I took a look at this video. I'm like, when did I make this video? So this video, 6 months ago. 6 months ago, and what I was displaying 6 months ago was Terminator 2 and Ridge Racer going down to $549. But here we are 6 months later, and the prices are $2.99. So you can see a trend, right? When the pre-orders come out, that's obviously going to be the highest price. About 6 months later, you're going to get another discount. That's pretty common. You might even get one about 3 months after the product came out. About a year later, that's about the end of the life cycle, give or take a few months. So I think what we're about to see, this is basically the lowest price tracked. Okay, so let me talk about that. So on my website, I categorize these deals. These are called pin deals. And so if there's any deals that are going on that are real exciting, that are new and fresh, I put them in a category called pin deals. Now, if you go down below that, you'll see lowest price tracked. Now, lowest price tracked is automatic. For example, if you go into this Partycade has been seen and tracked at different prices. 124 is the lowest price that the website has seen. So it puts it in this category of lowest price tracked. Now, here's an example. If you go to NBA Jam Countercade for 129, it debuted at that 229 price. It is then sometimes discounted to 179, but because of the Black Friday season that we're in, we're at that lowest price right now of 129. Now, I did get this, and I did get it at a higher price. Of course, like I could have waited and saved some money. Now, one thing the site is not showing is things that are completely out of stock. What were their lowest prices? So if you wanted to get the best deal, the lowest price deal, what would that price be? Now, we've seen at Walmart, remember those $50 days or $75 days? Cabinets really, really low. Now, those are not usually available to everybody. It's like a regional thing, like this region of Walmarts are doing the deal, and they typically go pretty quick. And so if you're not tracking it very closely, you might miss it. Now, there's another term I want to talk about. It's a fire sale. Now, this happens from time to time, and those in the chat know what I'm talking about, where there's a fire sale. I would say that these prices are not yet fire sale prices. So what do we mean by fire sale? So what I think, it's the price where it's gone really quick. It's a lightning deal. Now, these prices right here have been available for the last couple days. So $299 seems to be a price where I hear a lot of people are getting them. I see pictures on Facebook of people already got like a Ridge Racer, but they're still available on certain retailers. So I think that there will be a fire sale, or there could be a fire sale at $199 for these. But would you agree? And comment down below if you agree or disagree. At the $199 price, if we see a liquidation of $199 on T2, Simpsons, Ridge Racer, that's it. $199, if it's available to everybody. If it's an online price, I think it'll be gone quick. That's a full-on liquidation price. They could go to $99, but probably a ton of people would still pay $199 for that price. And they keep on over time lowering the price. So the one that I did pick up was Ridge Racer. And what's interesting is I went to, I think it's Best Buy, maybe, one of these sites, maybe it's Amazon. Let's go over to Amazon. Yeah, Amazon's already out. Again, not trying to, no pressure, no FOMO. I'm just saying maybe there's a lot of like-minded people, or maybe there's fewer Ridge Racers available. Don't rush and get it because it's going out of, it's out of stock. It appears to be available on Best Buy, right? This is where I ordered it, and it shows up for me on Wednesday. Now, why did I get Ridge Racer? Now, it was originally that $699 price. I'm not super in love with Namco title racers, Ridge Racer, but for $299, I don't have any cabinet in my game room that's like this. I don't have a race car. I don't have anything with a pedal. I have a full-size arcade that I got for $75. That's a Sega race, a Monaco. It's pretty cool, but it needs work. I don't have the PCB. The PCB is like $700. So it's just this project board, project arcade. And so for $299, I thought this is a pretty good price. I have some time off this next week. When it comes, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to play it. And it's something that I may have for a couple years. Maybe I'll mod it. I'm not really sure. But I love the idea of owning distinct cabinets. And I'm the type of person that owns both full-size vintage arcade machines, but also Arcade1UP, also AtGames, also iArcade. I have both iArcades. So I'm a collector of sorts of everything. I don't discriminate. I have it all. I have a garage full of 10 full-size arcades. My basement has several full-size arcades in it, and then tons of Arcade1UP as well. What I'm mainly interested in doing is playing these games and getting them at a deal. It's kind of always been the thing since the beginning. That's why a lot of the content I have is about deals. I'm tracking deals, and then I'm sharing the deals with the community as well. So that's why I picked up Ridge Racer. It seemed like a good value for me. So let me talk about another way you can get some good value. So when you go through the website, I think an example, let's see. Yeah, right here. So there's the NBA Jam. There's Kohl's. Do you guys know about Kohl's? Now, I've talked about this content before, but not everyone has seen every single one of my videos. So hold on just a second. Kohl's has Kohl's Cash. Basically, it's credit back to you. So this NBA Jam is an example. You can get it for $129, which is the lowest price seen. But technically, depending on how you calculate it, you'll get $30 back. But it's kind of like $100, but really don't look at it that way. It's $130 plus tax, free shipping, right? But you'll get $30 in Kohl's credit that you'll probably forget to spend. Don't forget to spend it. That's the key. And so far, I've done this several times, and I've never forgotten to spend it because I put a reminder on my phone. Like I literally tell Siri, I say the magic word to Siri and say, remind me to spend $30 on Kohl's November 26th. And then I get a notification on November 26th, and then I go get some socks or some t-shirts, or I literally go into the Kohl's and spend $25 on a t-shirt and then some candy, like a couple candy bars or whatever. And so call it what you want. If you think that's a deal or additional deal, some people say it's like free cash, but it is what it is. Some of the deals, if you buy, I've bought it where I had hundreds of dollars in Kohl's Cash. And I think that's how I got this NBA Jam, in fact. I got this NBA Jam countercade after I got Big Blue. Big Blue was from Kohl's with a whole bunch of Kohl's Cash, and I actually bought the NBA Jam with the Kohl's Cash from my Big Blue. So it was, in the end, it was kind of like I paid full price for Big Blue and then got NBA Jam for free, give or take. I can't remember the exact specifics, but Kohl's, keep that one in mind. Another awesome deal that's out there that I don't think I can demonstrate, but those in the chat are talking about it. It's RC Willie. So Shane says that he got RC Willie for $2.99. Now, RC Willie is a retailer, and if you're not familiar with RC Willie, then listen closely. RC Willie is a retailer that's only available in certain areas, but Best Buy will often match the RC Willie price. So you can go to the RC Willie website, and you can see what the price is going for. And I've heard multiple people do this, but I haven't done it myself, but multiple people have commented on the channel saying they've done this. They simply go to bestbuy.com and talk to someone through the chat and give them the link to the RC Willie. And sometimes they'll be like, hey, we're not going to offer that. We're not going to match the price RC Willie. Sorry, we're not going to match it. And then they just talk to another person, and the person's like, here you go, we'll match the price. And so that's another option for you. The X-Men, for example, originally came out, I think, $700. I was actually able to get X-Men as well for that $300 price, and that one came with a stool. So that reminds me, let's talk about that for just a second. There's the Simpsons on here. Now, the Simpsons that I got for $1.99 at Walmart was $1.99, but this one available for $2.99. Check it out. It's $2.99, so it's $100 more than that other one, but this one comes with a stool, and this one comes with that 10 sign. Now, I do have this Capital One plugin here, and every now and then I look at this and go, whoa, there's a savings alert. You can get even lower. And most of the time, this is like not any good. So let's go check it out real quick. It's basically saying you'll get 15% back if you use like a certain credit card. You can earn rewards from Capital One shopping. And so, you know, maybe there's some deals. So I've never taken advantage of any of those deals so far. They've told me about Dell deals. I've seen some people in the community do some Dell deals, but those are not a deal that I had ever done. So that is the thing for you with The Simpsons. If you don't have The Simpsons cabinet, I do not think this is a fire sale. That means it's possible this price will go lower. It's also possible that you'll miss it. Not intending FOMO with that comment. I'm just trying to be pragmatic or trying to be, this is what I've seen in the past. If you don't want Simpsons, then fine. Great. Don't get the deal. Don't think about the deal. Just move on, right? But $2.99 is with a stool, with the 10 sign. This is the lowest I've ever seen it. It might go lower, but if it does, it could be a lightning, like it spreads really quickly and then they're sold out. I've seen it before. We've seen some really awesome liquidations that are online, but they go quickly. This one is that price where they could probably go lower, but it can't go much lower without like just being gone very quickly. Anyway, so I'm going to catch up here with the chat and see what you guys have to say about these deals. And I have another topic that we can talk about. See, Jason's talking about get your Kohl's cash ready. I'm seriously tempted to grab Tron. So this is a good question. Like, should you get Tron? I think this is tough for me because, so Tron 549. I don't know, man. I think there's still room on Tron. So this is one thing you can do. You can go to Arcade1UP.com. People have talked about this trick, right? You add it to the cart. You say you got like 11 of them. You'll get an error. Hold on a second. And then you go and you grab like a different game. Just go to all arcades. So I'm going to add Blitz in there. So I'm going to add Blitz to my cart. I'm going to say, yeah, I want one Blitz. Let me check out. Okay, so let me back out. It's kind of like hacking the rules. Now I'm going to say I'm going to add to cart again. But now I'm going to say I want 11. And now it shows me this error. And it says you can't get 11. Anyway, if you do it enough times, it'll reveal how many they have in stock. And last I checked with Dragon's Lair, it was like if you said I wanted 75, it looked as though that low number would, there it is. See, it lowered down to like 42. So I only think Arcade1UP has 42 Dragon's Lairs. And I've seen this on other cabinets now that have 2 in there. I think the hack will work. So if you say I want 900 Blitz, press enter, it'll throw the error. No, it's kind of hard to do it sometimes. Like it's freaking out on me now, and it killed the other card. Anyway, my point is you can use that to kind of figure out like how many do they have in stock. But the problem is Arcade1UP is different from every other retailer, and there's no real way to be able to know how many are in stock at the different retailers. But my point is, if we go back to the site, yeah. So that's Dragon's Lair, and then you got Tron somewhere in here. Those are the 2 cabinets that I'm keeping an eye on as well. At $500, I think there's still room. I think there's still going to be like a $399 or $299. But here's the thing, this is just how the game works, man. This is how the game works. The closer it gets to that lower price, the timeline is shorter. So if the pre-order comes out and it's like, hey, Tron, you want it for $700? You're paying full price. 6 months later, there'll probably be a discount. And if you get it there, then you at least made the discount versus the debut price, the premiere price. If you wait even longer, it's like the risk goes up that you're not going to be able to pick it up. You got to really track it close when it gets to the end. But if you're just a casual viewer, casual tracking these prices, if you sleep for 2 months on it and forget about checking the price, you may miss the window, and it's like, oh, they're not available. Because there are tons of cabs. Like Star Wars is a great example. Like Star Wars, you can't get it anymore. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. So we've been talking about it on the channel. A Star Wars cabinet's totally coming out. Like a re-release, there's enough information out there to believe that Shop Hippo is going to have it. They had a leak on their website. There's no reason why they would have that leak on the website if it wasn't for the fact that they're going to start carrying it soon, right? So we can expect a Star Wars cabinet $599 re-release coming out in the next couple months. And when that happens, the question I have for you, if you want to get some of these deals, are you about to spend money? If you don't have the Star Wars cabinet, are you about to spend money that's going to compete for the new Star Wars? There's also a pretty good indication that we're going to see Time Crisis. That one I'm a little iffy on. Like, why didn't they release Time Crisis? That was a part of leaks that came out this last year, and everything in that leak list ended up being accurate down to pretty close to like exactly what the cab was going to be. We even were thinking like it's not Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was not going to happen, and it did happen. It was on the list. Blitz was on the list. It was all predicted. It was all known ahead of time. But Time Crisis was on the list as well, but it didn't come out. That's the one that didn't come out. And I'm guessing, I don't have any inside information on it. I know just as much as everyone else about Time Crisis, like the picture leak that came out. I have an entire video on that, and I gave my opinion that it was an inside leak. That's just simply my opinion. It's not confirmation. They haven't told me that. I just think that's how they do their marketing, because I've been watching closely to Arcade1UP the last several years. I just think that's what they do. They try to get information out there to see how the audience reacts. So the audience reacted to Time Crisis pretty poorly. I made videos on it going, this thing's ugly, you know, and what do you guys think? A lot of people said it was ugly. So I don't know if we'll see that soon, but again, you could always be, what I've done is I've waited for the deals, and even if I wanted the new Star Wars is a tough one, right? Because that's one of those elite cabs, right? So it's really premium. If they do that one right, again, then we didn't see a lot of discounts on Star Wars. So there's some people that, what am I doing? There's some people that did get that original Star Wars cabinet for $50. I don't know how they did it, but very few people got that. It was like a Walmart mistake or something where like Walmart started liquidating a lot of the cabs, and I think someone went in there and said like, hey, this cab that's selling really well, let's put that at $50 as well. I've even seen recently there's a couple of fluke buyers that are able to get Blitz for like $50 from Walmart. Have you guys seen that? Like, but it's either I don't think they're trolling because some people show receipts, but it's very rare. And I think it's just a price mistake. I mean, there's enough people in this world. There's 5,000 Walmarts across the U.S. that if someone's going to make a mistake, they're going to report it. But it's not like thousands of people was able to get Blitz for $50 or $100. Anyway, so keep that in mind. If you're trying to build out your game room, don't settle for a cab that you don't really like. That is the thing that I've made a mistake on. So this last year, I wanted to be an early adopter for the XL. I, in my head, thought $699 for the Golden Tee XL version, I justifies paying that full price. And if you know me, it's not because of YouTube. I rarely make like actual videos that are like reviews. This last year, and even my review, if you go look at this, like this is my Golden Tee, like at best my Golden Tee review, and this is it. This is funny because I was just about to say the same thing. I was comparing in my market how much it would cost to get a real Golden Tee. And so I'm sitting here comparing, and I remember this is exactly what I was thinking just, you know, before the show started that I wanted to share with you. And I was like, okay, Golden Tee is coming and it's $699. That's what we believe the price is going to be. But in my area, there's Golden Tees, and there's this guy, this arcade dude. He lives in Marshalltown, Iowa, and he always has these Golden Tees, and he has modded Golden Tees like Marvel Superheroes Machine. They're still available now in a Golden Tee. He's like saturated the Midwest market with these Golden Tee machines, but they're all over $1,000, right? And they're huge. And I was like, no, like this is where the Golden Tee from Arcade1UP is a good deal. Then I got it for $699. I hate the game. I was like justified it. I was like, oh, it's gonna be fun, you know, it's gonna be a great game. And like the bowling was like okay, but that screen just like irritated me so much, right? And so for me, I thought that I would like the game because I remember playing it like at Wild Buffalo Wings. Like almost every Wild Buffalo Wings that I go to like seems to have a Golden Tee. I was like, oh, that's a lot of fun. I realized, yeah, I'm with friends and I'm drinking, and you know, that atmosphere is really cool. But I wasn't able to really recreate that atmosphere in my office. So December 3rd in Des Moines, there's an auction with arcades. I'm totally bringing the Golden Tee XL version from Arcade1UP to there, and I'm gonna see if I can sell it, because I think in our area, in our area, those Golden Tees go for a lot of money, and mine will be like, you know, starting bid $100, right? Maybe I could get $500 out of it, right? That'll be fun anyway. But I got to play the Golden Tee for a while. I got to realize that I definitely don't want to buy a full-size Golden Tee machine. If it's $1,600, I'm not going to buy that version of it. I don't want the shape of that cabinet in a Street Fighter. No, I'm just going to go to an auction, try to get some of these premier titles that I absolutely love. I'm on the hunt for like a Street Fighter 2 full-size cabinet. If I can get that for about $600, even if it needs a little bit of work, I think that'd be a good deal. And those have been available at some of the auctions that I've gone to recently, or in the last couple of years. So, except for they were like Pandora's Box installed, they had LCDs in them, but they were like $600, maybe. And then they were like it was a different cabinet. So it wasn't the right time to get that particular cabinet in full size. So that's what I've been comparing. Someone that likes to enjoy both full-size arcades and home arcade prices, if I can get the deal like this, like a Ridge Racer for $299, I've seen a full-size Ridge Racer at my auctions that I go to. Last one, about $1,000, I want to say, and it was a stand-up, maybe $700 or $800. I think it was $700 or $800. It was a Ridge Racer 2, not in great shape, and then probably another $50 to get it shipped to my house because I don't own a truck. So, I mean, that's what I'm dealing with in it. But this Ridge Racer, I think it'll be really cool. The other thing at the local arcades, arcade auctions that I've enjoyed, let me rephrase that I've not enjoyed, is a lot of the racers that are in my area that are sold are the sit-down versions, right? They're huge, right? And then they go for a lot of money. So that's what I'm thinking about when I'm comparing about $299 from Amazon. Ridge Racer comes with 5 games. Yeah, it's not a perfect cabinet. Yeah, the pedals could be improved. The steering wheel haptic feedback could be better. But to get a full, real arcade experience, the options are slimmer, and I'm going to have to do a lot of work to them. Now, if in my area you could get that Ridge Racer 2 for, I don't know, in pristine condition, how much would it go for? $1,500 maybe? Maybe less? But see, here's the deal. With full-size arcades, like, the deals are out there, but they're just out there in different cities. That's the big problem I have in my area. It's like, man, like, I have a Star Wars trilogy that's coming, but it's stuck in Missouri because the guy made a deal with me. Star Wars trilogy, Sega version, I got for like $900. And he'll deliver it to me for $200. So I'm out of pocket $1,100 on a real arcade. Stick needs replaced, but that's okay. B's going to help me on the stick. And after that, it's going to be pristine, right? I think it's a pretty pristine machine. Except for the deal, the guy's like, when he's in my area, he'll drop it off. But if I have to hire a company to move it from Missouri to Des Moines, I think I'm going to be spending more than $200 because in the past, shipping has been lower, but now shipping is way high. All these companies are overcharging. So that's why it's still like, this is still a viable option for me, buying from Arcade1UPs to bring it into my game room, have my friends come over. Like, yeah, I got some full size here. No one scoffs at the full size and is like, oh, I'm going to play this Play Choice, this Neo Geo, or this Pac-Man. But now I'm going to go over to the class of 1981 Arcade1UP cabinet. They just play it. They just play it. Like, they're like, and they always play like the marquee title. Even if there's like 20 games on it, they just like go for the marquee title. Like, if I had Dig Dug, they would play Dig Dug. I had Dig Dug in the class of 81. I think I was able to get my sister to play Dig Dug, but I had to be like, go down to Dig Dug, stop playing Ms. Pac-Man, you know? She's like, oh, there's other games on here? I'm like, yeah. So she played Dig Dug for a little bit, and then she went right back to Ms. Pac-Man. It's like, you got to play the marquee title. I don't know if it's like that for you guys. At least when my family comes over, that's what it's like. Anyway, so those in the chat, let me try to catch up with you guys. Let's see. Fire sale. You guys got screwed if it's $199. See? That's the thing you got to remember, right? See, at $199, a lot of people would buy both. And if you want to wait, $199, I would say this is what I would do. If you're going to wait, make your decision now. And I've done this before, and it's been really helpful. A buddy of mine, Jamie, taught me this. He's into deals. He's the guy that kind of got me into deals. And he says, make a commitment to yourself at what price that you'll buy it at. That way, when it goes to that price, you don't have to think. You're like, you go look at your cheat sheet, and you're like, yeah, that's my price. Okay, go. He also has all these. I used to tell him, Jamie, actually, if you guys don't know about this, so when I started this channel, I called my buddy Jamie, and yeah, I can't show it to you. I'll just explain it. So I called my buddy Jamie, and I was like, hey, I'm going to start doing YouTube. You want to do a podcast with me? This is like 2017. And he's like, what are you going to talk about? I'm like, we're going to talk about deals, and I'm going to bring you in on it because you're the deal master. Jamie's the deal master. And we did one podcast episode, and we talked about deals. And he was like, yeah, I got twins. I got a family. I can't make time for this, but, you know, have fun. I'm like, okay, cool. And so I went on and continued with making content, and a lot of the content is about deals because I loved Jamie was a coworker, and he'd come in all the time, and there'd be these fire sales. And he's like, I can get you a tablet for $50. I'm like, let's do it. And so this is like 2015, 2014. And we got a lot of killer deals. And I got a thrill out of like, getting a tablet that's normally like $300-400 for $50. And I loved sharing it. It was like, oh, there's a fire sale. Like, and so we'd share these tips of like, if there's a tablet, name your price or whatever it is that you would commit to, make that ahead of time. That way, when you see that price, that FOMO will kick in and you can go look at your previous decision that didn't have FOMO around it. That's kind of like the special secret that I think is an interesting one. So kind of make your choice earlier. Thank you for the super chat, Tyler V. $5. Really appreciate that. He says, Justin, between you and Fox, I'm dropping mad cash before the holidays. Thanks, man. I'm supposed to be gambling my money away, not throwing it at Scott B. Well, that's kind of funny. He's supposed to be gambling it? Well, when you gamble, rarely do you get anything back, right? Hopefully you're joking. Like, please don't buy things beyond your means. Don't use me as an excuse to like, practice. This is what I've been doing. I've been trying to practice self-control when it comes to these deals. So recently, I gave in on Ridge Racer, but I gave you my reasons already. $299. It's a distinct cab. I don't have a racer. I didn't get Outrun, so I'd like to have it in my game room. I think it's one that I would keep for a long time. I don't think it's something I would keep forever. I do think these cabinets that I have, all of them are part of a cycle. I am not trying to be... currently, I have a play choice, a full-size play choice, and I've said to myself, I'll never get rid of that. But recently, I'm like, I might get rid of that. And here's why. Because if I'm going to trade it in for something else that's better, like, for example, I would love to actually just have a Mario versus Duck Hunt. Now, I could also add the gun to my play choice and do that, but the guns are kind of expensive, right? So like $200-300, and then you got to connect it and got to learn and make sure you understand how that all works. And I got to get the gun holster, which is also a pretty price. Or I can wait for a cabinet that's exactly what I want at one of these auctions or available on Facebook Market. And when that becomes available, I might be able to get a good deal on it. Just pay $1,000 for that one, and then maybe sell the one that I have at like a play choice, which I think could be worth more, for $1,500 or $2,000 to whoever's interested. Like, bring it to an auction. So there could be some cycles that I see on some of the cabinets. When it comes to Arcade1UP, one of the cycles that I have planned, and I think I'm going to bring it to the auction. I might cover it. I might record, do a podcast, and kind of replay the video of the auction. Hit one in the chat if that's something you're interested in. I talk about what I sold and what I bought. That kind of be a fun series. But to make the content easy, it's probably just something that I would film ahead of time, do a little bit of editing, and then just do a live podcast. And I would kind of talk over the video and kind of explain it, because all that extra work of editing and publishing and uploading and trying to make it perfect, like, it just gives me too much anxiety. But the live streams are helpful for me. Live streams actually add value to my personality. Like me, I try at work to teach and explain things. I'm not perfect at public speaking, but definitely doing YouTube has helped me grow in that skill, doing live seminars at work. And so I thank you, all those in the audience that throughout the years have supported me. That is a skill that I have learned over time through 1UP Weekly, through this podcast. It's one of the main reasons why I try to do it every week, is because it's unscripted. Like, I'm just talking. And sometimes at work, when you're talking about, I write code, and so we're talking about how to re-architect different apps to be more efficient. You got to think on your toes. There's no script. There's no, like, you got to know if someone asks you a question, is it better to do it this way or that way? Like, you have to react and answer that question. So anyway, I thank you for those that have been supporting me through the years, and maybe that gives you some information about how useful this is for me. How to Bachelor says, like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate the donation. $3.16. Always coming out with a very, very funny price amount for. Anyway, another super chat from Molar Medic. He says, missed last game room video last Wednesday, November 16th. Can you put up a series, please? Thank you. I did do that. So if you go to my channel, like the main Arcade let's see, what am I trying to say? Let me try to pull it up. If you go to my channel, so let me see if I can share the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm sharing the screen, and Molar Medic, he sent me some pictures. So this next, wait, did we show yours yet? I think we showed yours, Molar Medic, right? No, you're coming up next, right? I can't remember. I've done so many. It's hard. Like every episode, there's like dozens of people that I show off. I know I've seen your email. Anyway, so right here, Game Room Series. It's right at the top. So if I'm live, you'll see I'm live. And right now, I need to add that fourth one on there. I'm sorry, and I'll do that in just a second after the show. Anyway, so the Game Room Series has been a lot of fun. If you've seen these thumbnails and you're like, Justin's doing something weird, I don't know what it is, it's fun, dude. It's a lot of fun, these Game Room Series. I mean, it's specifically interesting to you if you have a game room that you're trying to develop, you're trying to grow the, quality of your game room with pictures on the wall, with lighting. That's how you can benefit from it, get ideas from other people, but also you can participate by also showing your progress. And there's a lot of people that are showing, everyone seems to say like they're in progress, but every single game room that I show off has something unique. Like all of them have something cool. Like you probably have a game room and you'd be like, oh wait, yeah, I got this unique thing about my game room that's kind of cool. Like the way I decorated this corner or whatever it is. One of them, the guy only had one cabinet, but it's the way he decorated. He's basically got a studio apartment. It's how he laid it out in his studio apartment. And I don't know, it's like every single person, no matter small or large, has a unique game room that they can share with other people. I really enjoy doing it because, again, in the next year or so, I'm going to be finishing up my basement. And I'm going to steal all your ideas. And I'm stealing Molar Medic's idea of having lots of pinball machines. I think I'm going to go with 3 at this point. Full-size pinball machines. And that I think people are probably going to kill me for this, but Molar Medic can appreciate it. If I have 3 real pinball machines, I may not own a virtual pinball machine after that. I don't know. I'm going to have them overlap for a while. And if I start playing the 3 pinball machines more than the virtual ones, that's the one thing where I'm like, I'm questioning whether they can coexist. Like the mechanical pinball and like having the AtGames Legends Ultimate virtual, like we'll see. I just don't know. Maybe I want both. But with full-size arcades and Arcade1UPs, I make it work. Like it's logical for me. But the pinball machines the prices are so high. If you're going to commit to that, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I'm going to stop talking about it because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about feelings that I have inside that I don't know how to express yet because I'm talking about the future feelings that I haven't had yet. Anyway, got a lot of ones in the chat, so I appreciate that. So yeah, that deal, Biggie D's talking about $15 cold cash for every 50. So you can buy some cabinets that are more expensive. You'll get that $15 to $15 ends up adding up. And sometimes they with the tax, right? Is that how it works, Biggie D? Like they round up, right? So if you're really close to the threshold, like if tax will add the threshold, if you're right onto it, I think you actually get the extra $15. I've had that before where it was like, I don't know, the cabinet that I bought was $300 and they were giving $15 of Kohl's cash for every 50 that you spent, right? So the $299 is like, whoa, it's really close to that next 50. And when you go to check out, it doesn't tell you that it's going to give you that extra Kohl's cash by going across that threshold. But I remember, I think it's something, correct me in the chat if you guys know, I think it's if you're within $2 of the next threshold, they're like, yeah, we'll go ahead and give it to you. But the website doesn't tell you that. It's kind of like a surprise almost. Like it's in the fine print. But if you check out and then you'll get the email, it'll be that higher price. So read the fine print. Don't quote me on it. But I think it's something, I think it's if you're within $2 of the next threshold, they'll go ahead and give it to you. Appreciate the donation, Molar Medic. Mine is on the 4th one. It's not posted yet. Okay, yeah. Let me fix that real quick. I think it's where is it? Yeah, episode 4. I just didn't. Appreciate you mentioning that. I've been trying to do that. I didn't add it to the playlist, is what it is. I'm doing that like right now. Add to the playlist, Game Room series, save. Boom. All right, it's there now. All right, yeah, episode 4 was pretty fantastic. Each one, I feel bad because like I want to make like maybe when we get to 10, if people continue to send me content on it, I might have to do like a best of. But I'll be fair with you guys. Tell me in the chat what you guys think of the Game Room series, where we're showing off the game rooms. Is it fair to do like a best of? Like when we hit 10, then I go back and I go to each episode and try to find like the coolest, the best, and be like, this is a combination of the best. But what's the best? Is it just like my opinion on it? And what about the people that didn't make it to the best episode, right? Would they feel, they missed out or something? Like, so right now how I've been doing it is when you email me, I just show it off in the exact order in which I received the email. So I don't sort the content. You sent me an email, I put the pictures on it, we talk over it, there it is. So everyone sees everything. And so far, I've been able to do pretty good on keeping up with all of the pictures each week from the ones that they email me. But keep it, like the content is kind of getting longer. It's like an hour and 30 on some of them because there's just so many pictures to go through. Anyway, let's see. We've kind of gone off the rails. The Game Room series is legit. Let me see if I can go back into the chat. We're talking about deals here. Californian Photography says just scored T2 from Kohl's for $2.99 with that $99 or the $90 Kohl's cash. I want to take a look at that, right? Because that's interesting. So we're talking about T2, right? You could get it from Amazon or Best Buy. Ooh, I don't have Kohl's cash. I don't have Kohl's listed on that one. I need to fix that. So let's go to one that does. I know that NBA Jam did. I don't know why I'm doing it. Let me just go to Kohl's. So go to Kohl's, right? So let's put in Terminator. Hey, type. Terminator. That's not good. Oh, there it is. Yeah, check that out. So it's, again, you have to set a reminder to remember to spend the $90. And so it's like $210. Now, for me, I've already told you the reasons why I wouldn't get this. It's just that I love, the Terminator series. I think it's awesome. It only has one game on it for me. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to convince myself, like might end up convincing myself right now. It does have 2 sending guns. It does not have the light up, the coin door. I wish it had the coin door. But it only has the one game on it. And I don't have a gun game yet, but Time Crisis is eventually going to be $2.99, right? Like, I just wait a year. So this is the dilemma. I've thought about this. I literally think about this all the time. So let's say right now, I have a choice to make. Terminator 2 now for $2.99 plus tax. But I could give my wife $90 in Kohl's cash. She'd be totally down for it. I'll be like, hey, I'm going to get this Terminator 2 for $2.99. But you get $90 Kohl's cash, and you can have it. And she'd be like, oh, I'll take that. I'd love to. Yeah, I guarantee you if I said that to her, she would be like, there's some things that I want to buy. That's perfect. And we probably already have some Kohl's cash right now, so she could collect that together. Or I'm be like, I'll buy some socks, which I've done. I'll buy t-shirts and socks or whatever. Clearly justified. But it's not a cab that, like, I'm super jumping up and down to try to get. And I'm saying this because you may be in a similar situation about a different cab. And that's the message that I want to make. It's like, don't do it just because it's a great deal. I mean, he says this one, California is no-brainer for him. Cool, it's a no-brainer. But if it's not really a cabinet you want to keep forever... Okay, so here's the other side of the coin, right? So the other side of the coin is interesting. I'm going to change cameras for this one. The other side of the coin is interesting for me. What if it's a cab, like I'm going to get time... Let's say I'm going to get... Dang it, I'm convincing myself to get T2 as we speak. Crap. I'm not getting T2. I'm not getting T2. Okay, here's the deal. Let's say I'm like, no, I'm not going to get T2. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for Time Crisis. Time Crisis is going to come out at $700, but I'm not going to buy. Not going to buy. People that want Time Crisis really bad, they can be the early adopters. Maybe I'll cover it. I'll talk about it. I'll be like, hey, it's available. This is a breakdown of the games that are on it, whatever, but I'm not buying it. I'm waiting for the deal. Okay, cool. A year later, the deal comes out, right? Time Crisis for $2.99. And then I'm like, whoo, Time Crisis for $2.99. Has 5 games on it, man. That's cool, right? It's kind of ugly. It looks like Big Blue, but they put the coin door on it. I hope they do. Let's say that's the case. Okay, here's the dilemma, though. That means between now and whenever that happens, a year from now or a year and 3 months or whatever, I didn't get to enjoy Terminator 2. What if I did buy Terminator 2 right now and I own it for a year and I have T2 and Time Crisis, but I go, hey, Time Crisis is the one I'm going to keep. Now I'm going to sell T2. How much could I sell T2 for? Could I get my money back? And that's a real dilemma, because let me share it with you. Could you buy T2 and you'd be like, I just want my money back. I don't need to make a profit. So I'll put it on Facebook Market a year and a half from now for $200. Will someone buy it? You could probably sell T2 for $200 2 years from now. And so that's the tough thing, but I'm not going to buy T2. But see, here's the interesting thing. This is the other thing I wanted to talk about. How much are the Arcade1Ups worth in the end? The value of an Arcade1Up cabinet over the time, over the years. So, like, do they maintain their value? And I think the answer to that is not always so obvious. I'm gonna pull it up right now, exactly what I'm talking about. The Star Wars is an interesting example where, do you guys remember Star Wars was just shown on eBay going for, what was it? Almost, sometimes went for $2,000 is what it was. Okay, let me share this like this, okay? So I'm going to open up this link here. Here's an example of the Defender Partycade, and this was a picture I saw on Facebook just recently. And this is actually something that I sent to Arcade1Up. I showed them this. There was no communication. It was just, by the way. It was a one-way information, by the way. What does this tell you? This particular Defender Partycade, what we've called the Catalina wine mixer of the Partycades. This particular one is done very well. I do a review on it. Other people have done a review at it. It's typically like hands down everyone's favorite Partycade. When we're doing the game room tours, tons of people have the Defender Partycade if they own a Partycade. It's fantastic. And here it is on eBay going for 3 times its original value. Now, to me, that means people know that this one is a higher quality. And to me, this says when Arcade1Up does it right, like Star Wars, like this Defender Partycade, it's actually a collectible. Out of all the Arcade1Up cabinets I have, I feel, based on these prices that I'm seeing, the Defender that I have has value. It's like a collectible. The Star Wars that I have behind me is a collectible. Not so much the other cabinets. How much they're worth, I mean, you could go look, like, how much can you buy them for? How much can you sell them for? And that answer will vary. And so for me, let me see, I gotta switch this over here. So for me, what I've been doing recently, I've been thinking, because I have an auction that's coming up December 3rd. It's an arcade auction. There's going to be probably 50 to 100 people there specifically interested in buying arcades. I have brought 1-ups to those auctions before. I have been able to get my money back on some. Minimum, they usually resell for about $200, but I also get the deals, right? So Space Invaders I actually made money on. I bought Space Invaders for $75 and it sold for $200. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And so I think Golden Tee will be an interesting one. But another one that I've been thinking about selling because I've basically replaced it. Let's see if I can show it off here. Right here. So notice behind me, I have two Street Fighters. And the Yoga Flame, in my opinion, has basically replaced my Big Blue. Now, that's just my opinion, where I would sell the Big Blue and keep the Yoga Flame. Because I think the Yoga Flame, the height is more superior. The marquee looks better to me. Like, I was just looking at it earlier. I was looking close at that marquee on the Yoga Flame. And I was like, man, it looks really good. And when I play the Yoga Flame, the height is super comfortable. And so for me, it's like Big Blue's gonna go. Like I was thinking about doing a Bobby Vu mod on it. I reached out to him, I bought the parts, and I was gonna send it to him. And then things got busy, I never did. But now that I have the Yoga Flame, I'm like, I really like the Yoga Flame. And so I think some of these cabs will cycle through. So another example of a cab that I have sold. And so the Tempest that's behind me used to be the Gen 1 Deluxe cabinet, like the 12-in-1 Deluxe cabinet. And then I swapped it out for the Tempest because I thought that one had more value to me. Even though it had Glenn's Retro Show stuff in it, I really liked the idea of owning a Tempest. And so owning a full-size Tempest, on the other hand, that's super expensive. I've seen them available at auctions, but they're really high-end price. And there's actually one that I saw recently at the distributor. I'm trying to meet more people. So there's a Stern distributor. His name's Greg here in Des Moines, Iowa. He owns the pinball place called Operating Room. And then I think another arcade in Ankeny. I think the biggest IMAX theater in Des Moines is in Waukee. There's an arcade there. I believe he owns that arcade that's inside the theater as well. I may be confused with another arcade dealer. But I've been meeting these people. And so he has like over 40 real full-size machines in his house. He said I could come over and film one day. I think I'll do that. He's the guy that I'm buying the Star Wars Episode 1 pinball machine and the Mars Revenge pinball machine. Pristine condition. Very good deal. Pretty excited about that. He's got to do a little RAM repair on one of them, and then he'll deliver them soon. So, but anyway, he had a Tempest, pristine condition, at his office, and he told me he'd give me first dibs on some of these fully high-quality, restored machines that he has access to, because he buys them, sends them off to someone. I don't know who he sends them off to. I'm going to talk to him, but like the artwork on them look like fully Joe Sabo. Like maybe it's Todd Tuckey that's doing the restoration. Wouldn't that be funny? I'm not really sure. But my point is I don't know the price of that Tempest, though. I bet he would be like, yeah, you want it? $3,000. Oh, you want this one? That one's $4,000, because they're in perfect condition. And it's like, I'm not going to do that. Right? I'm not going to spend that high end. So for the 1UP, the Tempest, the imitation version, if you will, the home arcade version of it that I was able to get at a Kohl's price, I think it was $399 or $349 with Kohl's cash. It was like, yeah, I'll get this Tempest. It looks really cool. Right? Anyway, let me know what your thoughts, and we're going to cycle back to the audience here, see what you guys are talking about here. Bob says T2 is great, though. Dude, it's $200, and it was $700. Get it. That's fair. That's one way to look at it, but I don't know. Your wife will love you. A lot of people have T2, so many hacks will come. Yeah, that's the thing, but the people that are doing the hacks on send-in stuff, they're hesitant. Like, I've heard. So all of these models are just Android, right? Arcade1UP uses Android as their platform. It has USB, it has SD card. And you plug in USB, plug a keyboard in, you can open up Android menus on these machines. And then you can sideload APKs. So if you have an Android package file that is meant to run on an Android platform, some of these APKs are available at archive.org. Look up Arcade1UP, you'll see these APKs. You can download them and sideload them on the machines. Send-in is compatible with a ton of awesome, like a Duck Hunt. And so I had heard from somebody who heard from somebody, they have a hack that allows you to sideload all the send-in games that are supported on the T2 machine. But the fear is that would hurt send-in. Like, who cares about Arcade1UP? But send-in themselves, there's also hacks out there where, like, it's just USB, and the way the handshaking is working, and there's, like, some type of, I don't know if it's a serial number or some type of exchange to the platform that makes it where a real send-in gun, like, wouldn't work with an Arcade1UP, and vice, yeah. But you could plug in the Arcade1UP to a PC, and it shows up as a webcam. There's simple modifications that can be done to make those fully interchangeable, intercompatible. But the people that have figured that out don't want to release it because they feel that could hurt Send-In, a small, tiny little company. It's just a dude that has license agreements with Arcade1UP, and Arcade1UP, if they sell at these high scale, and Send-In gets a piece of the fees for, a percentage, like a couple percent of every cabinet sold, then Send-In's going to make some money. That's going to invest newer technologies that maybe Send-In's going to come out with something even better down the line. So some of the hackers are a little hesitant to release any of those hacks, not because they care necessarily about publishers or they care about Arcade1UP, but they care about the indie developer, because some of these hackers are indie developers themselves. So there's a stronger loyalty among the indie developers versus like a bigger company like Arcade1UP. Even though Arcade1UP is kind of like a startup, and they could be hurt as well, but there's a difference between a company that has millions of dollars of investment and funding, even if they are a startup, and they have deals with Walmart, big box stores, and then there's Send-In, just this indie developer, right? Anyway, so that's, T2, maybe. Maybe it's worth the price. If it's worth the price, you think it's worth the price, then you get it. I gotta hold off on it. I gotta save money for the pinball machines that I'm getting, so I can't buy everything that I want to buy. Gotta practice some self-control. So I went for the Ridge Racer because it has 5 games on it. It's a steering wheel game. I have a steering wheel machine. Never took the time to actually get it fixed up. I think I'm gonna sell that one at the auction. Try to get my $75 back. For a project machine. I think I'll get my $75 back, and someone else can fix the Sega Monaco machine that I got. Anyway, great topic. It was a fun topic to talk about the T2 hacks. See what else we got. Let's see. I guess for some people, we need a bunch of games just to justify the price, but for me, I just need those key titles from when I was a kid, and it pays for itself if you like the game, you like the game. Totally fair. And I think I agree with you. So maybe the answer is, I kept on saying it has 5 games. I think it adds value when there's more games on it. Sure, like the replayability will go higher. Man, now you're getting me. Maybe I'm stuck on this thing where it's like, I would rather have Duck Hunt, but we all know that Arcade1UP is never going to have Duck Hunt. And I would want to mod that and turn it into a Duck Hunt. The T2. I don't know. I hear what you're saying. It's just, I played that game in the arcade recently, and it was like, so there's like Jurassic Park Pinball. I go like every other weekend. For a while there, it was every weekend, and I love the Jurassic Park Pinball. I was talking to a guy at work, like he loves it. There's all these old school pinball machines that he wants to buy as well. He stopped liking Mandalorian. He played Mandalorian Pro for a while, but then he's like, nah, I'm kind of done with Mandalorian. Don't want to own that one. Don't need it. But Jurassic Park, I would totally buy. The newer one from Stern. They're just not available, and they're stupid expensive. Because that one, to me, has a lot of replayability. The Terminator 2 pinball machine, if that was available to me, I might pull the trigger on that one. See what I did there? And I appreciate the T2 arcade game, but I played it when I was in, where was I? I can't remember. It might have been Seattle, but I was playing it. It was on free play, and we got to like almost the last level, and I was tired. I was like, I don't want to play this anymore. I was like, all we're doing is putting credits in and shooting everything, and I think we've been playing it for like 30 to 45 minutes, and it was fun. Maybe I was tired because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, to be fair. So maybe we were going around to all these arcade bars. And this, nah. I will tell you that I'm going to admit right here, I have a bad taste in my mouth about T2 because the last time I played it, I was at, I think it was with B. I think it was when we were in Chicago. It was super late at night, and the music was so loud at this bar. Like, the loudest bar ever. I guess I'm an old man now, right? And I'm sitting there playing it with this other guy. I remember his face, but can't remember his name. And it was fun, but there was that last minute when we were like, hey, everyone else wants to go. We were both like, yeah, let's get out of here. Done with this game. Been playing it for too long. And so I think I have a bad taste in T2 because of that. It was just like too much. And then so I'm looking at T2, I'm like, I don't need to own that. But anyway, Kiss Pinball from Stern is awesome. Yeah, they have that at the local one. I think so. Yeah, that's pretty cool. If I could find a Williams Black Knight, I'd sell a kidney. Let's see. When I was working, HR once called me to ask why I was talking about playing a gun game with my 5-year-old. It was Duck Hunt. I hung up. That's right. We're talking about sushi drivers. Okay, so Zero Redux says, with all these 1UP Black Friday deals, I imagine iArcade is kicking themselves for not lowering the price on the gold even more. So I think the gold, what do you guys remember the iArcade gold, what price it's going for right now? Is it $7.99? Let's see, iArcade available right now. So I did pick up that one, and I have to tell you, man, like, so my content has totally, it says $7.99. I think that's what I paid. Was that their early adopters fee? Yeah, T2 would kick butt. So I finally put together my Space Invaders iArcade Gold Edition. I've had it for months, but man, this last couple months, everything changed for me, where it was like, basically, my daughter started a whole new year of dance, and we just like signed her up for almost every day. She's doing really well at her dance studio, and she's like starting point and all this stuff. So we were just like, something she's really good at. The teacher says she has a future. Maybe she could teach it later. There's all these opportunities for her. So we're just like, yep, load her up with all these classes. And so I'm basically a dance dad now. So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then Tuesday we got other things we got to do. So I'm basically sitting in my car every evening waiting for my daughter to come out to dance. And so that is really eaten up in my free time. So the only free time I actually have is Friday night. I spend with my wife, or I go out with a couple buddies. We go to like a restaurant. And then Saturday, which I'm doing, trying to get things done in the house. And then Sunday, I'm working on a podcast and then record it. And that's it. So I've literally had no time. What I've been trying to do is play video games every night for about 30 minutes before I go to bed. And that's been very enjoyable. Been doing that for the last couple months. But that's about it. And so been playing, and it's not long enough to like beat a game. But last night and the night before, I was playing Gunbird on the new iArcade. I usually play that on the other iArcade, the original one. I have the Kickstarter version that's in my office. And I really like, you can definitely tell the difference. I might make a video on it. I've been thinking about it. Like have a video that shows the difference between the gold and the Kickstarter version I have. It's almost like a comparison video. That might be interesting to people on the iArcade. But yeah, like the cabinet is, it's probably no surprise. It's just like the original iArcade, where the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of the iArcade is quality. The wood quality is fantastic. I dislike the gold because I had to assemble it, but at my Kickstarter, I didn't have to assemble it. It came fully assembled. I just had to assemble the base, but it wasn't really that bad. And that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't put it together for such a long time. It's just because I knew it was going to take longer. But the quality is there. The bat tops, I think I'm going to replace them because they have that ridge. Maybe people don't mind it, but anything on the bat top, even if the top of the bat top has that little like piece, like I'll try to sand it off, and if it doesn't come off, I replace it. Even a cheap bat top, as long as it's smooth, like that's quality for me. But if it has that ridge around it, it's not quality for me. And someone can come out and be like, no, those are like the pristine versions when they have the ridge around it. I'm like, I don't care. I don't like the way it feels. And right now I have a blister on my finger, and so it was really annoying. But I go play any other machine that doesn't have the ridge. I'm like, oh, this is nice and smooth. Let's see. So more people in the chat. Let's see. We got $299 X-Men OK. I paid $600 at launch, but wouldn't buy again. MG's talking about that. So I have X-Men that I bought for $300. It's still in box, and that one again, because I've been super busy, like I haven't had any time to put it together in the last couple months that I've had it. I'm off all this week, so I'm planning on assembling the X-Men and the Simpsons that I have. And I was almost thinking about just taking them to the auction. Be like, I was like, I don't even have time. I don't even have time to play these games anymore. Like, I'm so busy being a dance dad. Like, and the dance studio is far enough away that I basically just have to stay there, because if I drive home, then I basically got to turn around to pick her up. But some of the nights are just hours. So that's why you probably haven't seen me live stream with other folks on certain days. And it's why Wednesday live stream is so late, is because I'm like, when I finally get home from the dance on Wednesday, I'll do this game room thing, because I was trying to come up with content that I can like literally write in the car. So if you guys don't know about my game room, this is how I make that. It takes about 3 hours to create a game room show, and it's me going through 20 to 30 emails and copying and pasting it into Google Slides. So I'm on my laptop, tethered to my phone, in my car, in the parking lot of the dance studio on Wednesday, waiting for my daughter, and Monday as well. So on Monday, that's when I start it. So tomorrow, that's the plan, is Monday I'll do some of the work. It's about an hour on the first session, then 2 hours. And all I'm doing is copy and paste pictures. And it just is time consuming. It's like, let me make it bigger. Let me expand it. Let me fill it up. Let me center it. Okay, cool. Another one. And then it's 100 of those that I do for every show. And then I do a live show, and it's just a reaction going through 100 slides. And so it's a lot of work. It shouldn't be that much work. I would love to figure out a way to optimize that so it would be, oh, this is good. You need to buy your daughter Dance Revolution so she can dance at home. That's good, Matt. I love that. Thank you so much for that comment. Like, that made my day. That's funny. Appreciate, yeah. I was hoping you guys would enjoy it. Like, typically that's with YouTube. The more effort you put into something, the more you'll get back out of it. That's what I found. It's really difficult to find a scenario where you put very little effort into something and you get a ton of return. Like, no, it's like you got to put in a lot of effort, and then you get back what you put in. The II arcade worth getting over a $700 arcade mod up. So I've been thinking about this with the iArcade. So first of all, like, super subjective question, like it just depends on your circumstances. I can tell you that I have been thinking about if this will help you at all, Jim. So as I collect different arcades, I can see a scenario based on my space, based on all the game rooms. Keep in mind, like, you guys are watching the Wednesday game room show. I'm watching it too as I'm doing it. And the way that I'm like dragging the pictures over, I sometimes kind of see the picture, but they're kind of really small because I have the Google Slides on one screen and it's small and I'm dragging them into little boxes, so I don't get a good look at it. But when I do the live streams, that's when I get a good look at it. I'm like looking at the screen that's in front of me, 24-inch monitor, and I'm like seeing the game room. And I'm like, whoa, there's some really cool ideas. And so I've been thinking about doing some consolidation of the arcades, perhaps multi-cade level stuff, maybe getting into some full-size arcades. All the full-size arcades that I have, there's a Play Choice, as an example, that has all the NES games on it. So it's kind of a multi-cade, but it's all NES games. Because they have a game link on it that allows you to put in like a power pack, which just has like all the ROMs on it. I have a Neo Geo MVS, but it's got 160 in one game cartridge in it, so it's kind of like a multi-cade. But I'm thinking about Stringer Films has been talking about no, just get a PC, put it in a full-size arcade with the CRT, RGB out, 15 kilohertz, like this whole setup where it's like pretty killer, and that's how you can do a multi-cade. It's a lot of work, maintaining a CRT, all of that's a lot of work. But anyway, it's something I've been thinking about because some type of form of consolidation. Anyway, so then I was thinking about all that with the iArcade. And the iArcade has value because the arcade is a premium multi-cade. The quality of the wood, the quality of the screen that I got, like I went to the iArcade office, and there's something that I noticed. They had all of these gold machines, and they had all of their standard machines. And if you looked at all of them from the right side, you could scan across all the monitors. And some monitors looked great, and some of them looked bad. Now, if you're standing in front of any of the iArcades, you can't notice. But only if you look at when there's 10 of them in a row at their corporate office, and you're looking at it from where you're looking from right to left, some of the monitors are better than others. And so I was worried about my gold machine. Would I get a good monitor? Like, it seems like some of them are I think they're all TN. They're not IPS. Like, even the iArcade Gold is TN monitor. But if you have a good one, which who knows whether you have a good one, it's like an LED backlit. Or it's got multiple fluorescent bulbs behind it. And some of them, just the fluorescent bulbs, just are lower quality. And that's true with Arcade1UP or iArcade. And so the gold that I got, the monitor looks great. Like, even from the right angle, I was like, I don't know, this must be an LED backlit. It looks great. It looks like IPS. I was playing Gunbird on it. It was freaking awesome. It was great. And so, and then if you get the AtGames Legends Ultimate, the AtGames Legends Ultimate is a good multi-cade. It's got an IPS screen in it, but it's 24-inch. And it's 24-inch. A lot of the games I'm going to play are 4x3, so you don't really get a lot of the real estate in the monitor of the multi-cade for the Legends Ultimate. I know a lot of people love the Legends Ultimate. I own one, but in the back of my head, that's stuck in my head. I'm like, I don't get the full real estate. Whereas the iArcade, it's 19-inch 5x4, and the only reason you don't get the real estate is if you're playing a vertical game. But that's going to be true on every home arcade. Console fanboy, iArcade sucks. What else can I say? Yeah, see, I think if they went with like an IPS, it doesn't necessarily have to be a BOE. I think BOE does have a 19-inch. It's probably what we're going to see on the, what is it, the KI Pro? When people start reviewing the KI Pro. It's supposed to be, I think it's a BOE. It says it's going to be an IPS, so, yeah. It's kind of funny when you start talking about iArcade. I was like, any minute now, Console fanboy's gonna come out of the dark, and he's gonna be like, "What are you guys talking about the iArcade?" Seriously though, I was gonna reach out to you, Console fanboy, because I was thinking about reviewing the iArcade Gold, and you could have you could be a special guest in that episode, where I'm like, we're talking through the quality of the machine, and you can be, I don't know, some type of commentary that's all like, no, Justin's lying. Be like, no, listen, Like, the quality of the screen I have is great. And he's all like, he's lying. It'd be funny. The best looking arcade I have. But it's an arcade, but it sucks bad. See, Louis like, that would be awesome. I don't care, man. I think it'd be funny. Anyway, so the iArcade, let's see. So what was I impressed about the Space Invaders? Yeah, when I walked into my room with the Space Invaders already assembled and I turned on the light, this was after, I was like, it's nice. The artwork on the Space Invaders is pretty nice. It was better than I thought it was going to be from the machine. And when I assembled it, the assembly took some time because it was the first time that I had to assemble an iArcade. The stand was pretty quick. Yeah, the only thing that I really disliked was the bat tops. Yeah, it had that ridge. And I was like, nah, gonna replace that. That sucks. And then, yeah, so it's a multicade where you buy the games and they make it where if there's a list of games that are on the arcade that you think you would enjoy, one thing that's really nice about it, I know Console Fanboy is blasting the chat right now with his views on it, and that's completely fine. They do all the work for you. So if you buy your own multicade or you use a Pi, and if you know how to do all that stuff and you don't mind setting it, if you want to set it up custom yourself per game, make sure the controls are perfect, or you know someone that has an image for your Pi and you're going to mod, whether it's a real arcade or just plug a Pi into your TV, the setup that you desire, right? It's like got the list of games that you want in the format you want them in, with the controllers set up the way that you want to have them set up. If you can get that result without an iArcade, which you totally can, then maybe you're already doing it. So why would you buy an iArcade? But with the iArcade, it's a machine you're going to stand in front of, and when you pay that fee for the game and you play the game, they did all that work for you. The controllers are mapped for that control pad, ready to go. It's probably going to be in the position. I've never went up to a game on the iArcade and played it and said, I don't like how these controls are set up. It's just like, it tells you this is going to be your shoot and bomb. I play a lot of shoot 'em ups on it. Then you go. But see, even here, Cameo says jailbreak the iArcade. I think it's Android based. It's got USB in it now. It's probably possible to get it into some debug mode and sideload your own APKs on there. But then you have to do that work. And then you have to download the ROMs and you have to sideload it. And then those games you're going to have to figure out the button mapping for, or someone else is going to have to do the button mapping for it. And so that's the trade-off, where you just pay them, pay the store, pay the license, and then there you go. They have all that. And so here's what I'll say about the iArcade. I was thinking about consoleizing my iArcade Gen 1. And I was like, it is kind of cool that I own two iArcades. And the second one, I was able to download all of the games that I had already gotten for the first one, and I was able to put it on the second one. You just have to go in and be in the app and be like, yeah, install. And that took like an hour. I had to literally sit there forever and be like, yep, install the next one. It'd be cool if you're like, yeah, I want all these. Just a mass, yes, give me all of these games. So then it took forever for him to download. And then I started playing, Strikers 1945 and Gunbird, these shoot 'em up games that I think play very well on the machine. I was thinking of also doing like lag test video. That would be pretty cool. Like, I think the iArcade, it's actually got pretty low latency when it comes to those shoot 'em up games. It's got a TN monitor, but TN monitors typically have a faster response time. And if they're optimizing the actual APK for the game itself, it's probably got pretty low lag. So I have like the Sega Astro City Mini V that has Gunbird on it, for example, and it's got some lag on it. It's not that great. And so like I was thinking about doing a side-by-side and be like, Sega made the Astro City Mini V, and it's got 2 frames of lag or whatever the value is, whereas the iArcade has 1 or whatever, like 7 milliseconds lag. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's less than some of the competition out there. So you're paying for that. And so I think that's interesting. So anyway, I was thinking about consoleizing the iArcade for the Gen 1 and just literally plugging it into my computer. And I'm like, no, I think I'm going to sell it at the auction. So the iArcade Gen 1, now that I have the Gen 2, the gold, which I paid for both of those, I think I'm going to get I might be able to get my money back, maybe $2.99 at the auction for the iArcade. I think I have to delete all the games and log out or something like that, because I don't think you can sell the iArcade with the games that are on it. It doesn't transfer like that. So, but I think it would come with just the 11 games, and maybe I can get some money back at the auction for that, because the gold is just better, and I don't need to. Again, I thought I was going to consoleize it, but honestly, with my game room setup, my plan is my console setup is probably going to be a Mister. I was thinking about doing a Mister Arcade, but now I'm just thinking, no, that'll be like a sit-down couch. That'll be my emulation station, essentially. Not a Pi, but a Mister. The Mister is doing pretty great with the number of consoles that it can emulate, the number of arcades it can emulate. It has gun support now, coming with like a Namco gun where it can work with some LEDs. Pretty excited about that. Get that all set up on my console. And then, if I want to sit down and play, and I got a Dreamcast, and it's got some good shoot 'em up games on it, and that's got the SD loader in it, so I have a ton of side-loaded games on the Dreamcast. So I think the iArcade Gold is all I need for that multi-cade for those games, and I'm good. I don't need two. So that's my thought. This is a good joke. Every now and then, Console Fanboy has good jokes. Don't jailbreak the iArcade, just break it. He's got this theme of his humor where he hates the iArcade, and he's just kind of plugging it along. Anyway, let's see. How about make a Nintendo Play Choice cab? Memories. I'm old. So I was able. So that's that might. So I paid $2,500, and I got a Play Choice in pristine condition, and I got a Neo Geo in pristine, great screen, but with no guts on the Neo Geo. But it's $35 to get a one slot, and then it's pretty inexpensive to get, the 161 cart, so the Neo Geo. So I've said in my head before that it's like $800 is what I paid for the, was it $2,500? I think it was $2,300. So it was kind of like I paid like $1,500 or so for my Play Choice, which you could probably get it cheaper. But again, the guy fully refurbished it, and it looks great. Looks really good. So I love playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on that. I do that every now and then. That's a fun one. I have that cart. I don't have to go into the NES Link for the Play Choice, and it's cool. I don't know. It's slightly different. The game is slightly different. It has these high score thing that it's tracking you. It's a little different on the on the real thing versus the NES. Anyway, Thunderbird233 says, got Arcade1UP Dragon's Lair recently for $549. Love the CAD, but software has been issues. Really bothers me that Arcade1UP still rushes out cabs without QC. Yeah. That's the exact question I was saying. Music Mike, is it the audio sync issues? Because it appears as though people have been pretty loud about some of the issues. Well, I think that, yeah, the audio sync issues with Dragon's Lair. There's been a handful of people that are complaining about that. And then John, I think months ago, came back, was like, someone make a video that proves to me that our machine is under par, however he put it. And then, yeah, that's the last I heard about it. That's the last I heard about it. But earlier let's see, I'm gonna scroll back up. Real early in the show, there was a comment that someone was talking about the Blitz and MVC2, and they wanted to know my guess, my speculation. Okay, let's see Blitz and MVC2 for 400. Where was it? Jason said, do you think Blitz or MVC2 online will happen by Thanksgiving? I don't think even Arcade1UP knows. Does that make sense? Like, I truly think they don't know when it will be available. So I have no clue. So I've heard people speculate that it's not going to come this year. I've heard that. I've also heard someone say that they emailed customer support and complained, where's my Blitz Online? Where's my MVC2? And those that are following closely, let me know in the chat if you know the accuracy of the statement. But I think the response that I read on a Facebook group was they got a response from customer support about Blitz, was it? That the customer support said we're trying to have it done by the end of the month. So that would be in the next 10 days. But first of all, I don't remember if it was Blitz or MVC2 exactly in my head, but I remember the statement was by the end of the month. But I'm curious if whoever that was at customer service has the authority to even make that claim. I mean, obviously, you and I could easily argue that you would think that their customer service would have accurate information, but I'm telling you that I don't believe anyone in customer service would have accurate information, because I'm still holding my ground that I don't think Arcade1UP even knows when it's going to come out. They outsource their development, so the only thing that they're getting, at best, they have a promise from a different development company doing the integration. And I just think that in software, I've worked with contractors, contracting agencies, and dates are really hard to like get a solid confirmation. I mean, I work in software development, and I almost was going to be a technical project manager. Kind of was thinking about going into there. Instead, I went to software management engineering. So that's what I'm doing now. And estimating a date is one of the most complex things to do. And the only way to do it accurately is with practice. It's where you are constantly measuring. Though I think there's some people in the chat that like are Scrum Masters that are also technical project managers, use Jira. One of the last chats I was talking about, there's a whole bunch of people who are like, yeah, like I do that for a living, and maybe you can relate. But it's this idea that you're tracking every sprint or every week or every 2 weeks the velocity of your team and the capacity of your team, and they're all waiting. They're evaluating how long each bug takes to fix based on the unknowns, based on the reproducibility. And on our team, we do that. We like documentation is like 1 point. Like it's easy to document. It's like, do you have any confusion about how to document? No, that's 1 point, right? And then if it's a task that's going to take a couple days, it's like 2 points or 3 points or 5 points. And typically when you're at 5 points, it's like a Fibonacci sequence, right? You're at 5 points, it's like there's a lot of unknowns, so you just don't really know. And if it's higher than that, you create a spike ticket, which is your job is to investigate the answers, break down more tickets, and then point those tickets, right? And if some VP or some executive management comes in and says, when will this work get done? And if you haven't done the work to actually calculate and project what that's going to be, it's a guess. And I worked on this project before where we spent a couple of weeks doing the proper evaluation and breakdown of all the tickets and try to project exactly, where it was at. And we gave an estimation based on these milestones. And if we missed this milestone, it would have mean because of these unknowns. So in the end, we gave a range of how long it would take, and we nailed it. We nailed the deadline. And as we went, we had a couple bumps in the road. But we had a couple success, and it all evened out. And it was like, this project is going to take 7 weeks. It was like down to the money. And we're able to deliver. But it was because we took all the time and we understood exactly the velocity of the team, who's taking time off, right? Exactly the type of work it's going to be. Is it going to be, you need to learn new parts of the code? Are you familiar with the code? Is it front end? Is it back end? Is it database? How risky is it to do these deployments? There's all these key pieces to it. And I haven't heard any of that type of talk when I've had conversations with Arcade1UP. It's just all like, yeah, we reached out to the integration and, they're working on it. Maybe it's because if I worked there or, if someone, that did work there that shared that type of information at that level. And that's not the level of transparency I think we're expecting from these companies. Not to be like, yes, We have 17 Jira tickets in our system. They're all pointed at 7 sprints. You know what I mean? It's like, we're not going to get that level of transparency. But my point is that everything I just explained, which probably caused people to go to sleep, that works well when you're all on the same team. The moment it's like, oh, 4 of these developers work for a completely different company and we never talk. There's no communication. We just throw tickets at them and wait 2 weeks to get a build. And if that's your situation, there's no way knowing when an update's going to come out. It's just a bill's going to come with a firmware build. Like, here's the invoice for 10 grand and here's the build, And it's like, yes, exactly. You summed up my last 5 minutes with the answer is always 2 more weeks. It's kind of funny because I consulted for some companies that I will not name because I don't want to make it sound like it was a bad thing, but they're in the home arcade space. And I was talking about this advantage of W-2 employees, like getting people invested in the company, like companies that I've worked for that have had high success in the software engineering. And I wish there's probably some gaming companies that are like this. Like, dude, I had someone come over, take a look at my driveway to fix the cracks. And one of his sales pitch was every single person working at this company is W-2. We're all employees. Everyone who is working on your driveway is going to be an employee of the company. And we have been doing this for 17 years. We don't outsource. We don't hire contractors to do the work. We have promises no one's going to smoke or swear on your premises, like this quality standard, right? And I was like, man, and I literally was sitting there going like, I know some people in the software development home arcade that don't do that. They're like, no, everyone's contractors. And no one has stock in the company. There's no, remember that Office Space was like, what if there was some type of 401k stock option? Would that make a difference? He's like, I don't know, maybe. I think it does. When you get a company where it's like, we're going to move volume of bits, we're going to change the industry, get your employees invested in the company, where you're like, if we succeed, you succeed. We're all one team, and we're going to get through this year together. And if we succeed, you're going to succeed financially. Like, there's bonus options, whatever. A lot of modern software development firms act that way. But from what I've seen, and I'm not in the gaming industry, but what other developers in the gaming industry have told me is that's not how it works in the gaming industry. That some of these indie companies, they can't afford to pay people a salary or bonuses or stock, and it's a lot of contract work. I don't know what that rabbit hole was, but will Arcade1UP release Star Wars this year? I don't know. I don't know if it will be this year or not, because it hasn't been announced yet. If it's going to be this year, what is there, 40 days left? There's 40 days left. And so here's what's interesting. I'm going to say this, the same thing I said earlier. I don't even know if Arcade1UP knows if they're going to release Star Wars this year. And the reason why is because I think there's a lot of variables, especially when you get close to the end of the year. When you get close to the end of the year, you're getting really close to Chinese New Year. And a lot of these companies celebrate Chinese New Year. And so if you can get production in place where you're on the track to get the items shipped out of Hong Kong or China, wherever they're coming from, before Chinese New Year, if they can meet the deadline, or in November or in December, then we might see a pre-order or might see a website where you can make the order of it. But one thing I do know, and you can see this, there's a lot of people that have been releasing information online about shipping notifications. And I can tell you, you can see it. Golden Tea, that's when the trends changed. Golden Tea totally got leaked because of the shipping information. And one of the advantages is they got Golden Tea on the website. You could order it from the retailers, and within 2 to 4 or 5 days, you would get it. You would get the unit. But from a marketing point of view, we all knew it was coming out. And so maybe the marketing didn't have as big of a splash, right? So then if you look at some of the other titles that came out later, there was some leaks that it's coming out, but clearly what they did was they wanted to have control of the announcement, not the shipping details. So now I think it's like we'll probably hear about it first. You know, there's like two different strategies, right? You let the audience know, you let the customers, the early adopters, the people that are following closely, hear about it through Twitter, through shipping details, and that's when you get excited about a new title, or you hear it because Arcade1UP updated their website. I think those are the two options that Arcade1UP has to do. So we know that no shipping data has been announced at this point for Star Wars. So it hasn't left the dock yet. Otherwise, we would have heard about it. People would have been talking about it on Twitter. And shipping from Hong Kong, China, doesn't it take like 6 weeks to get here? So I don't think anyone will have Star Wars at their house in 2022, the new model, unless they ship it like tomorrow. Does that make sense? So will Arcade1UP release Star Wars this year? Well, they could release it, they could announce it all the way up to December 31st. And if they did, then the answer will be yes. But I don't think it's going to come to your home because we would have seen the shipping data between by now. Probably by now. Anyway, other people are talking about May the 4th. Maybe they would, like miss that window. And if they do miss the window, then yeah, after the New Year's Chinese New Year, that's typically the next cycle is around May. That's what they've done in the past. So really leaning towards an arcade mod-up Donkey Kong for $700. Wow, that's interesting. So I want to see what that looks like. Donkey Kong arcade mod. Is it the arcade mod up? Okay, I'm gonna Google that, see if I can find it. I've never bought from these guys before. Do you guys know their reputation? Arcade mod up. Is it arcademodup.com? I'm gonna share my screen. See if you can give me, let me know if I got the right company. So Arcade Mod-Up, this is who we're talking about? Is that right? Give me one in the chat if that's what we're talking about. So Arcade Mod-Up. They got some Black Fridays. Let's see. Arcade1UP mod products. Ready to play multicades. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Andy says, not a great reputation in Facebook groups. I have a Model N and love it. Okay, Model N. Let's see. So they have bar tops. Maybe that's what he's talking about. They have bar top, a Popeye bar top for $749. Never heard of Arcade Mod-Up, but Tulsa Arcades and many others are pretty good. Yeah, I've talked to Tulsa on the phone a few times, and he's told me that his, of course, he's going to tell me, he's going to say his stuff is the best. And you talk to anyone, they're going to say theirs is the best, right? So this is the Model W Stargate. That kind of caught my eye. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's interesting because you're basically buying, it's kind of like buying an arcade, if you will, for that price. Kind of looks like a bar top, but no stand. But I'm guessing this is going to come with everything you need. Like it's got a pie or something like that in it, all ready to go. Or maybe something to that effect. Model N, you guys are talking about? My Popeye reel didn't cost $750. There you go. So you got to keep, if you want the real good deals, you got to follow Pitbull, because Pitbull, he got all the deals. And there's so many real full-size cabinets available on the market. And this is what I'm going to do from now on, Pitbull. Anytime you come into the chat, Pitbull, anytime. Let's see. Anytime you come into the chat, Pitbull, and say that you bought a real arcade for $750, I'm going to tell everyone to come to your house so that you can share the deal with them, right? You can share the deal. Give everybody the secret. Follow Pitbull on YouTube. He does these shorts, and pretty soon he's going to do a short that's going to break down and tell you how you can get a real Popeye machine for less than $750. He's going to give you the secret. It's going to get to your house for $750. You don't have to worry about shipping. They're available for everybody. There's just this secret that you need to know. And if you know that secret, then you too can get a full-size Popeye. Don't worry about the weight. Don't worry about the shipping. Don't worry about a dolly. Don't worry about calling your friend. All you got to do is talk to Pitbull, and he's going to tell you how you can get a full-size real Popeye with a beautiful CRT, has 10,000 hours of life. You're going to get it in your home. You're going to have the money to pay for it. You're going to have the space to put it in there, and you're going to love life. And if you want to know the secret sauce, all you got to do is subscribe to Pitbull. It only cost him $400. What are you guys doing in the chat? Spending more than $400 on an Arcade1UP when you could be following Pitbull on YouTube, and you could be buying a real full-size arcade, a Popeye full-size arcade. Do you know what I mean? Those are so valuable. Wait a second. I'm trying to figure this out. Are they valuable or not? Because you were able to get a Popeye full-size for only $400. Does that mean they don't maintain their value? Because in my area, the Popeyes that are available in my area are $2,000. So how are you getting a deal for $400? Oh, it's because you're part of a secret elite club of arcade owners that trade at a very low price. You have a friends discount. Nice. So we're all friends with Pitbull now. See, he's got the friends discount. He got a Cubert for $350. And they're available every day, right? Every day. Every day they're available. Is that right, Pitbull? Give me a 1 in the chat if they're true. You could get me a Cubert for $350 tomorrow. Is that right? Is that right? Come on in the chat. Tell me. Give me a 1. So it's a friend of a friend. Now, you guys think I'm hating on Pitbull. We're friends, okay? We chat. Tell everyone we're friends, right? We're friends. We chat. He's in a metal band. I was in a metal band. We're friends, right? But I'm going to call him out. If you know the secret to get some of the best full-size arcades for less than the price of Arcade1UP, then you have an obligation to tell people on your channel. You have an obligation to let people be your friends. And we're friends. Why haven't you given me this deal? I'm sitting here spending $2,000 on Play Choice, and you couldn't hook me up with the Play Choice for $400? It's not a very nice friend, are you? The Video Arcade Society. All right. Model N. Actually, this is kind of cool. The Model N, $499 right now. Kind of looks like Nintendo, right? It's kind of in the Play Choice-y. Oh, I see what you're doing. There it is. Donkey Kong Model N. Let's read about it. Assembled and ready to play. Just remove from box and plug in the power cable. Great things come in small packages with this 24-inch tall arcade machine. Wait, what? It's a 24-inch? It's a micro N. This is small, though, right? These are small. Ah, these are tiny, though. Yeah, you owe it to all of us. I can get you a Gottlieb cab for $300. Dude, I got a Gottlieb cab for $200. See, I thought these were bigger, though, for that price. These are micro. The ends are micro, right? Is it still good for the micro? Like, what's the... Yeah, see his hand? They're kind of tiny. Is it real? It's an actual 3/4 model? But how big is that screen? This is the whole thing. The whole thing is only 24 inches tall. It's a 24-inch tall machine. It's a 24-inch by 11 by 12 for 500. No, it can't be a 19-inch. It's not a 19-inch. Oh, he has the 3/4 Model N. Okay. So this is the Micro N. Okay. That's the Micro N. We want the Model N. The Model N. Is this what you're talking about? That's the Model N bar top. Okay, the Model N bar top. Help me out. I'm new to this, okay? So this is the Model W. This is the Micro N. This is the Model N bar top. Is it in here? Okay. So this one's... Okay, so this is the standard one, right? But that's not the Model N we're talking about. I'm confused. I'm going to their website. Shop. Ready to go. He says it's $749. Yeah. So that was not the bar top. Not the bar top. Is it? It's not this model. This one. There it is. Model N. We found it. Okay. Model N. Donkey Kong. That's tight. Okay. $749 with a riser. Donkey Kong shape. This is the control panel. Single player. Very cool control panel. You're going to get a little LED back strip. Very cool. Decent speakers, I see. Here's the monitor setup. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. This is the deck. $749. All components included, and the unit is ready for cam lock assembly, then gameplay. Everything is mounted and pre-wired. Make your home arcade special and relive all your arcade games. Typically ships within 2 to 4 days from order, then FedEx ground from Oklahoma. All arcades and riser parts mounted and wire ready for cabinet assembly. Latest generation Raspberry Pi flashed and configured. 19-inch monitor upgraded with HDMI, mounted with bezel, print, and Plex. Control panel with graphics, Plex rewired USB, 1-player multicade setup, 2 white trackball USB. Okay. 12-inch riser included at standard 35.5 playing height. Okay, that's pretty cool. Choose your cabinet and T-molding. Choose the customer design. If damaged during shipping, we'll send out replacement parts and send free return label and repair parts with an issue as new delivery at no charge to you. Return shipping not including and 20% restocking fee. So you can choose, let's say I wanted white, edge, let's do white. We're going to do Donkey Kong, $749. Let's see, I'm going to add this to my cart. Add this to my cart. Free shipping over $50. So wow. Okay. Model N for $750. This is interesting. The Donkey Kong design, that's pretty sweet. Yeah? It's pretty sweet, guys. I mean, that price, $9.99 is their regular price, right? And then marked down to $749 is that they got some Black Friday specials. I mean, with shipping from a company like that, that's, I mean, if they do good quality, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Let's see, Black Friday deals, Mod 2022, save $30 on standard. Partycade head-to-head, so that's a bundle. LM22, save $5 on lighted marquees. LCD, ready-to-play multi-arcades, save $40 on any ready-to-play multi-arcade. So that's a Black Friday special. So you can get it down to $710 maybe? Let's try that out. We're here for deals, right? Let's apply a coupon code. Let's see if it works. There we go. Add that coupon code, 709. 709. Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna turn this off just for a second, just to hide personal information. I'm gonna put in my. It's just asking for a zip. Let me put that in. Update that. Let's see what our shipping comes to. Yeah, free shipping over $50. It looks like my total payment, if I were to do it, would be $709 for a Donkey Kong ready to go 19-inch screen. Wow. I mean, it looks pretty good. Yeah, Black Friday code, 40 off. It's not, I mean, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a review on it. It says it's preloaded. I think it's preloaded with ROMs is what they're saying. It says latest generation Raspberry Pi flashed and configured. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Material Defender says yes. Has zero problem with the company. You know, it's pretty interesting. I mean, I'm looking at it like the only... It's not bad, like just by looking at the designs. If I'm trying to criticize something wrong with it, like the screen is straight up and down, but at the same time, that's probably how you'd want to do it on a Donkey Kong, reproduction Donkey Kong, because the screens on the Donkey Kongs were like that, right? Well, I've seen them a couple different ways, right? Yeah, I've seen it a couple different ways. I've seen some people do LEDs straight up and down, CRT kind of laid back. My play choice is CRT laid back a little bit. But I think it would be okay on Donkey Kong. Like, just kind of the vibe you would get from it. I don't really like the light up buttons. That's just me personally. I mean, if you like it, worth a try. Well, especially with all the money we've been spending. If you got a lot of game room, it's like, you want a multi-cade 5x4 screen. I like that. It's not a 24-inch screen. It's kind of in that Pro era. You know, it's like an iArcade. It's 19-inch 5x4. It's within. It's really close. What's this? 7,000 I read. What are you talking about? 7,000? What's 7,000 mean? This one needs a stool. There you go. Screen should be more slanted. No more risers. You got that. Like, I don't think Arcade1UP's going to come out with a Donkey Kong, but definitely riserless in the future. Pretty sure. And if they apply the riserless to the older models, like the cheaper models, the peasant models, some people call them, could be good. That would be cool if that was the standard going forward. What I would love Arcade1UP to do is, so no riser, molded coin door, light up coin door, push button to start coin door, standard. For inexpensive cabs, 17-inch. For more expensive cabs, 19-inch. And I don't mean pros. Coin doors across the board. Height, try to be on par with the Tron. Be on par with like the Yoga Flame. This height's pretty sweet. Better buttons. Same sticks as the Yoga Flame. I'm guessing they save money on these. I think they're the higher end Bayo lanes is what I'm guessing. Because they've had Bayo lanes before, but it's the model lower. That's my belief. I could be wrong. I don't have evidence on that. But I remember Ralph and we were doing some studies on what we think they are, and we were able to look at the iArcade, and that was Bayo lane, and then AtGames, and we matched it to Bayo lane, and we think the Arcade1UPs. So these are Sanwas, but that was on their one cabinet. And then these, I don't know. But they're better. But if they throw in better buttons, now we're getting somewhere. Always have the slide-in marquee. Doing this wrong. The slide-in marquee. Make that standard. Yeah, I think this is a pretty... If they do a Yoga Flame, my hand looks kind of weird over the screen, huh? Looks like it's a green screen. It's not a green screen. Anyway, see. It's like my hand looks like a green screen. See it? Anyway, if they did more Yoga Flame-like designs, I think that'd be really nice. So this is something that... no, right here. How about Arcade1UP sending out blank generic type models begging to be modded? That would be cool. It's just not their business model, right? Their business model is partnering with publishers. Like, that's core to their model. They're trying to take advantage of publishers that have big titles to move cabinets at a profit. And selling wood without that IP doesn't benefit the publisher who's part of the marketing push. And so they wouldn't have a partner to help them move. And then some of those partnerships are like three-way partnerships, like Walmart plus Marvel plus Arcade1UP. They're all like part of the deal. And so I'm just guessing here, maybe even part of the funding. I don't know. So I worked for a cable company. We were a startup cable company, and we were actually one of our big investors was a cable company, which was really interesting. So it was like, we were like competing with our own investor. It was really interesting. But the idea was we're competing with the own investor, and there's a lot of startups that get incubated this way because the cable company is investing into this startup that's kind of a competition. They could buy out the company really easy because they're a part of the board. And so if the technology is ever grows to be something super successful, it's like they're incubating ideas and there's tax write-offs and all that stuff a part of it. They can just acquire that and consume that technology. It ended up being sold to a different company. Why did I bring that up? Because we had partnerships with a lot of people in the industry. And it helped fund the company because we were reselling content. So there's partnerships with content providers to help fund the startup to sell their content to a new audience and gain subscribers. And then they get part of, they get fees, they get part of the deal. So it's like you need the partnerships to succeed because they're the ones that are funding some of it. So maybe my experience is similar with Arcade1UP. What are they doing? Do they get deals with their Walmart and Konami and they work together and then they all try to make a profit together, but maybe they own percent of the company as well, a small percent, but that was to help to fund the company. It's very possible. Anyway, well, this has been a very fun night. I've really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Jim's like, build your own. Sweet. Yeah, I wish Star Wars would be re-released. Cry. It's coming, man. It's coming. I mean, it may have been canceled, but I don't think it's been canceled. I think it's coming. When? Who knows? I think it's all about... I said this on Michael B's show. This is what I believe is happening. The train analogy seems to be good. So imagine you have this train and the train is moving and you got to put things inside the train, right? Like, what is it called? The thing that actually, the containers. And so the manufacturer is manufacturing cabs that are getting shipped to the United States, and they want to keep that flow going. And so what they do is they estimate, what cabs are we going to have built that are going to get put on the train, and they always want to keep that train, that factory going. And so depending on how many cabinets that get ordered, like a Blitz or an MVC 2, that may buy parts of the train, right? And you want to keep that train going, right? And you're like, okay, we're gonna figure out, first you're gonna manufacture Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and you're gonna do Blitz, and you can do those at the same time. So, and then after that, we're gonna have Star Wars. After that, we're gonna have Time Crisis. This is what you don't want to do is not have something manufactured, because the moment you don't have anything coming, that means in the future you'll have nothing to sell. So you want to keep that flow going. If they have a really big cabinet that's a lot, that sells for a high amount, right, or has a large quantity, then it's gonna push off some other cabinets down into the future. That's the way I understand it. And so they're always thinking about, how do we fill up those slots and have the manufacturer always producing cabinets and then always selling. And then, do we make a new form factor? That's what they're going to do. Like a new form factor with a new title is going to fill up the sale of those to get manufactured, and then they can move more. Anyway, my point is, the last we heard is Star Wars is scheduled to be a part of the manufacturing process before the end of the year to the next year. It's just on its way, but they got to make them, and then they got to ship them, and then you got to buy them. That's kind of the flow. They're probably being made right now, is my guess, but they haven't shipped them. And then they don't have to tell you about it until they're available. And so just because you haven't heard anything doesn't mean they're not being made. It just means that there's no news to tell you because they're not available to be sold just yet, or even pre-ordered or what have you. Anyway, so thanks for hanging out. I'm going to get a redirect over to 19K Fox. Let's see if I can find him here. 19K Fox has a show that is starting in just a minute or two. I've really enjoyed the conversation, even though I wasn't able to highlight the chat as much as possible. I think that was my bad. I'm sorry about that if you had a lot of interesting things to say and you didn't get highlighted in the show. I apologize that, but what I was trying to do was give everyone an opportunity. But what I'd do is I'd click on a comment and it'd get me going, and I really enjoyed what was happening. So thank you so much for hanging out in the show. And check out 19K Fox, who has his podcast starting now. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.